Hello, it's John Heaton, and of the great albums from Fleetwood Mac with the Buckingham Nicks McVie lineup, I've only got two more to do, and Rumours is one of them, which I'll get round to doing, and this is the other, Mirage, which I'm doing today, and someone requested I do this album as well, so I'm going to do this one first. This is first thing to say, it's a nice cover with the three songwriters on the front and Mick and John, the rhythm section, on the back. So more of a commercial album cover than Tusk, which was a little bit kind of anonymous as a cover, although it's probably my favourite Fleetwood Mac album. And then the words are in here, which interestingly hadn't been included in Tusk, I don't think. Although, yeah, there were lots of pictures inside that packaging, the words were not amongst them. And then Warner Brothers label here. Came out in 1982. Bought it at the time, I remember, just the day after my A-levels finished. I marched down to the record shop and rewarded myself with this album. Sorry, I forgot to show you this artwork on here. Which, does it say who does the artwork? It's not the most brilliant picture in the world. Yes. Inner sleeve artwork, Lindsay Buckingham. Well, nice try, Lindsay. Interesting picture. Actually, looking at it again, it's not a bad picture at all. It's quite interesting, actually. Christine McVie's a little bit red in the face. Maybe that's got something to do with the glass of red wine which she's got in her hand there. And Stevie Nicks' face looks a bit disproportionately large, but good likeness of John McVie and good likeness of Lindsay Buckingham, and Mick Fleetwood presumably the easiest one to draw because he's about 7 foot tall with the beard. But yeah, not bad. Good effort, Lindsay. So the follow-up to Tusk, and altogether a more commercial sound and a more probably an attempt to get back to the kind of multi-million platinum selling of Rumours, because Tusk had only sold 4 million copies or something, which was deemed to be a failure compared to Rumours. But this album, it did well, but it didn't obviously approach the level of Rumours. Not that chart positions are that important anyway, but so let's go through the tracks. Not sure where this album was recorded. Yeah, it was recorded in Le Chateau Hérouville, France. I've got a feeling, I might be wrong, that that might be the same chateau as Elton John's Honky Chateau recording studio where Elton recorded his Honky Chateau album in 1971. I'm not sure about that actually. Could be completely wrong. So this album opens with Christine McVie doing her normal melodic song. Good opener to the album. It's not the best song in the world, but it's decent enough. By the way, this CD just came out with the bonus disc with loads of demos, including a demo of an early version of this track. And very nice, reasonably priced, and a good picture of the band there. And I'm going to show you a booklet. There's a booklet in here. With some notes from most of the band members, probably not all of them. I don't think Christine, and the lyrics are here again, but sort of picture of Lindsay there in the studio and Stevie, and some nice liner notes from, I'm not sure who writes them. But these liner notes maintain that this album is actually underrated, and I think it is. A lot of people kind of don't even talk about it, which is a bit unfair. Everyone tends to talk about Rumours and Tusk and Fleetwood Mac, and this album tends to get lost in the mix, which is unfortunate, because it's got its moments, folks. Can't Go Back is Lindsay Buckingham. Can't can't go back. I'm not sure what the lyric means, but it's altogether more of a commercial sound from Lindsay. I don't know if the band had told him to kind of hold back on the experimental side of his work, which had been quite prevalent on Tusk. So this track is okay, but it's not a great track by any means. It's not particularly memorable, but listening to it again, and with the CD release, I quite enjoyed the whole album. I was surprised how well it flows together, really. That's Alright is a kind of countryish song from Stevie. She'd improved on the early version, which is featured here, which is an alternate take, it's described as, which is not as well thought out as the final version, which is kind of sped up a little bit to put a bit more life into it. But even so, it's not Stevie's best track by any means. Book of Love is approaching Lindsay's best here, with a great melody and a good hook. Sounds more like a solo track than a Fleetwood Mac track, perhaps. Not sure how much the others contributed to this track, but none the worse for that. Then we get Gypsy, which was the hit single, and there's a nice video to go with this. And Stevie Nicks' best song on the album, and maybe the best song on the album. It's some great lyrics. It's a wonderful guitar playing from Lindsay. Again, Lindsay's production really bringing out the best in Stevie's melody and vocals, and great rhythm section as always, and just a top class number. Only Over You. By the way, they toured after this album, and there was a video I had on VHS of that Mirage tour, strangely unreleased to this day. And in the deluxe version of Mirage, the box set, you got the vinyl and you got the 2 CDs, and then you got an extra CD of the audio of that concert, or a similar concert from that tour, which is strange because the video still remains unreleased, and I thought it was pretty good quality, nothing wrong with it at all, but for one reason or another, not released. By the way, Lindsay and Stevie here again, continuing to pretend they're a couple. It's quite amusing, I suppose. Anyway, where was I? Only Over You from Christine closes side 1, and this apparently might have been inspired by Dennis Wilson, who Christine McVie was seeing at the time, the drummer from the Beach Boys, who unfortunately died soon after in a boating accident. But this is a good Christine ballad, but it's not top drawer Christine. She's done better than this. For example, Songbird is a lot better, and Wish You Were Here, the track which closes this album, is a lot better, but it's decent enough. And then we got Empire State, and this song, there's an interesting demo version on here, and the demo version really does sound quite aggressive in the vocal, and they toned it down slightly. And the version which ends up on the album is punchy and enjoyable, but not as kind of atmospheric as the demo. I enjoyed the demo a bit more, but maybe that's just because I'm not familiar with it. But a good track and a good opener to side 2. Then we have Straight Back from Stevie, and I'm afraid this song is not memorable at all. And Lindsay does his best to try and make a song out of it with his arrangement, but it's pretty forgettable. In fact, I've noticed Stevie is on Tango in the Night. This would get even more extreme, but here she's taking a little bit of a back seat. Apart from Gypsy, she's only got 2 other songs on the album, and Christine has 4 and Lindsay has 5, so that's a little bit of an indication of maybe who contributed most to this album. But Hold Me was the first single, and is a very catchy Christine number, maybe a little too commercial for some tastes, and a good video to go with this. I've recorded in the desert somewhere, and again, very interesting demo with slightly different words in the chorus, which I really enjoyed. I highly recommend that. Then we have Oh Diane, another very commercial track, which was released as a single, and I remember seeing Fleetwood Mac, pretty rare appearance on Top of the Pops to promote this single, with all 5 band members being there. It's quite interesting. Another bloody plane. So oh Diane, I like it. It's a good track. Just effortless song from Lindsay, and okay, words lyrically not much, but nicely played and nice melody. Then Eyes of the World, probably Lindsay's strongest track on the album. They did this very effectively live. Interesting vocal interplay between Christine and Lindsay in the intro. Again, I don't know how much Stevie had to do with this song, but it's really well played, and a soaring guitar solo at the end, and just this album finishes very strongly because the last two tracks are probably two of the greatest tracks on the album, because that last track, Wish You Were Here, is one of Christine's tearjerker ballads, and actually, interesting enough, Wish You Were Here, music by Christine McVie, lyrics by Colin Allen, who I believe is the same Colin Allen who co-wrote Medicine Jar with Jimmy McCulloch and Wino Junko with Jimmy McCulloch. So that's interesting. So a very strong end to the album. And this CD is worth checking out because some great songs. I can't remember the extra tracks which were the best, but Goodbye Angel I seem to remember was very nice. And these archive releases, the Tango in the Night one's just as strong as well. I love it when bands put out extra material. So after this album you'd have to wait 5 years before another Fleetwood Mac album would come out. In the meantime, Lindsay, Christine, Stevie, even Mick, I think, recorded solo albums. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you next time.